more calm and more centered, I needed to look at things a little bit differently, because the experience I had with at that time in my life were not really good experiences. There was a lot of anger, hurt, and negative emotions attached. Okay? I was very much into nature. I did a lot of camping, I did a lot of hikes, I trained in nature, I love nature, I really got a resonance from nature that was really positive. So most of my metaphors came from nature. And that's why my auditory meditations, you'll hear like panther stillness meditation, or eagle vision meditation, because I drew metaphors from nature in relation to my experience at that time. So the next thing, that was more of what I call a panther stillness meditation. Okay? And the analogy that I used was, there's a panther sitting in a tree in a jungle, surveying the jungle, but very still, aware of what's taking place, but not reacting. Just very calm and very observant, can react if needs to react, but it's not reacting, just very calm. And that was kind of like this meditation that I learned, and I thought, yeah, that's like this. So the next one was the eagle vision meditation. Okay? So go ahead and, when you're ready, we're just going to do a little visualization, and I want you to close your eyes. Just breathe normally. There's no particular breathing for this visualization. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is imagine yourself right now in a particular environment outside. Could be walking along a beach. You could be traversing through a forest path. You could be walking through a nice grassy field full of spring flowers. You might enjoy hiking up the side of a mountain. Wherever you find yourself at peace, on the beach, on the mountain, in the forest walk, or in the grassy fields, or anywhere else. But I want you to go ahead and just imagine now that a bird like an eagle or a hawk simply comes to visit you. And you know that this is no ordinary visit. This is a visit that is going to aid you in a very special way. The bird is going to allow you to see through the bird's eyes. So imagine now, as that bird takes off, spreads its wings and flies, that it flies higher and higher, all the way completely and totally, skillfully flying. And you're able to see through this bird's eyes, and you can see the land below where you are there becoming more distant and smaller. As eagle, hawk, whatever bird you choose continues to fly, you notice that the earth simply becomes smaller. From this vantage of being high, there is so much more that you can see. You can see so much further. You are able to encompass a greater perspective on so many things than when you were simply standing on the earth, where you were in that moment in time. Your vision now, your internal sight has expanded 100-fold. You are calm. You are inwardly peaceful. And you're able to assess and look at things from a totally different point of view now. Things perhaps that you were unable to see before, you can see more clearly now. As a matter of fact, just looking at the topography of the landscape around you, you can see how the valleys connect to the hills, or how the beach connects to the ocean and runs for kilometers and kilometers, or how the grassy fields have patterns of flowers that are repetitive. Or how that forest path connects to other paths that lead to different places that you were unable to see before because you were simply on the one path. You can see how you can connect to other avenues. You can see how you can move to different sections of the beach, patches of grass and parts of the mountain. It's all becoming quite more clearly to you now. How everything interconnects and how easy it is to see different patterns from this distance, from this vantage point. And as the bird begins to fly down, closer now to the earth, coming back to where you are, you retain all this wonderful information of this inner wisdom and knowledge of knowing that at any time you are able to see through the eyes of this bird and look at things from a whole different point of view with greater flexibility. You fly back and down, and as you are there in the same wonderful place that you started from, you nod to the bird and you say, "Thank you." And if the bird understands as it replies back with a nod of its head and says in its own way, "Thank you," and flies off. And you might not realize it yet, but you have a whole different way of looking at things. So in any situation that you find yourself in life, you will notice that it's easy for you to simply fly high above it and realize that there are a number of ways that you can respond. That there is no one way, there is no one path, there is no one beach, there is no one side of the mountain, there is no one section of the grassy field. There are many. And as you continue your walk in wonderful nature, there's a peacefulness that comes over you in knowing that this is true. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and join back in. Anybody like to share their experience off of that?
I was in the forest and then the eagle came down and I went through the eagle's eyes and I was flying. As I was flying away, it's kind of like you're flying away from all that, the heaviness. You know, it's freedom. And then when you're up at the top, you're sort of looking down saying, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's only because you're in the environment and it's small. But when you get to look at the big picture, it's, you know, it's like what you make it. So it's how you perceive it. And we really are, like when we're in our day-to-day, we're always in that small little spot. But when you go and look at the whole picture, it's not that bad, just sort of letting it go. So when you come back, you look at it in a different view. That's sort of what I thought.
Right on the button. Yeah. Anybody else?
I like the freedom of it. I like the freedom of the eagle. I just like to fly it. Just stay up there. It's nice. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, there's a peacefulness in knowing that you can just take off. And...
I like that you could go wherever you wanted to go. That you could explore, that if at one moment you wanted to be in one place, that was fine. But if you felt you wanted to be somewhere else, that was okay too, and
Yeah.
at any time you could
Yeah.
move.
Yeah,
So that was, for me, you know, not having to look at one thing, but
Yeah.
saying, what do I want to look at now?
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. Wonderful. Anybody else?
Just going like your everyday pathway, and then you're up in the air and you see in a whole different viewpoint of the path you've been taking every day.
Kind of expand your horizons and knowing that there are perhaps other ways to do things, right? Anybody else?
First I assimilated it to going up in the air like an airplane, and you know, things are closer and further, and you
Yeah.
get, and then after a while I started saying, well, maybe if you have a problem and you wanna think about it, you can look at the overall picture,
Yeah,
instead of just, you know, you're stuck in this small vision, and maybe it's better to look at the overall picture and maybe get something out of that.
yeah,
That's what I
right
got.
on, right on.